Bonjour, c'est votre prof, Monsieur Shooter, et ce vidéo s'appelle le passé composé. This video is about the French compound past tense. Passé composé means compound past. Well, what does compound mean? More than one. So this past tense is a two-word phrase consisting of one, a helping verb, a form of avoir, or perhaps a form of être, and a past participle. We have this in English. We call it the present perfect in English. Here's some examples. I have played. You have eaten. He has gone. We have left. And they have sold. I might have chosen in English to say simply a one-word past tense. I played, you ate, he went, we left, and they sold. But instead I chose to use a helping verb and a past participle. In French, you must, when you do the past tense, use this as a guide, use this as a model, using a helping verb, usually have, a form of avoir, and a past participle. There used to be a one-word past tense in French, but it is no longer used. You will only find it in literature. Now in the past tense, in French, it's modeled just like this. A helping verb, generally avoir, have, and a past participle like played, eaten, gone, left, or sold. In English, it's always have. In French, it's usually have, the verb avoir, but sometimes it's to be, a form of être. We'll take a look at this later in this video. We'll take a look at this in more depth. The past participle, which is in yellow, played, eaten, gone, left, and sold, is formed by dropping off er if it's an er verb and adding accent aigu. If it's an IR verb, you drop off IR and you add an I, or if you want to make a shortcut, you simply drop off the R. Or if it's an RE verb, you drop off RE and you add U. And there are some irregular past participles in French. We're not going to worry about the irregular past participles in this video. In analyzing how the past tense is formed, I have, you already know, is j'ai. So I have played is j'ai joué. You can see how the colors match up. You can see how the grammar matches up. I is je, have is a, j'ai is I have, played is joué. Joué is an ER verb. I drop off ER, I put on accent aigu, and I get joué. Still pronounced joué, but with an E accent, not with an ER. You have, tu as. You have eaten, tu as mangé. Manger. M-A-N-G-E-R is the main verb. I drop off ER, I put on E accent, still pronounced manger. He has. I bet you were expecting il-a. Well, it's not. It's il-a in this case because he has gone is il est allé. Well, why did I use a form of être and not avoir? I will show you later on in the video, but this is one of the examples that requires a form of être, not avoir. Not too common in French, but it does happen sometimes. Another one, we have. You're probably expecting nous avons. Nous sommes instead, a form of être. We have left. Nous sommes partis. We've used a form of être here instead of avoir, and again, I'll show you later on why that's the case. They have. Ils ont. That matches up quite well. They have sold. Ils ont vendu. Vendu comes from the verb vendre, an RE verb. I've dropped off RE and I've put on a U. How to handle the negative? Well, we know with the negative we need ne and pas. We're simply going to surround that with around the helping verb and we'll have the negative. So they haven't sold is ils n'ont pas vendu. Always around the helping verb. When a form of avoir is a helping verb, past participles do not show any kind of agreement with the subject. Take a look at these examples. Il a vendu, he has sold. Elles ont vendu, they have sold. In the first example, it was one male, and in the second example, it was more than one female. But in both cases, vendu was spelled V-E-N-D-U, no change. The form of the helping verb was a form of avoir. This is the case whenever avoir is the helping verb. Past participles don't change according to their subject. Take a look, though, with être. The past participle does agree with the subject in gender and number. Some examples. He has left. Il est parti. She has left. Elle est partie. And an E was added to partie. Didn't change the pronunciation, but the E was added. They have left. Ils sont partis. An S is put on, and now I refer back to an earlier part of the video where I had an S on partie. Partie, P-A-R-T-I, is definitely the past participle. It ends in an I because it's an IR verb. The S, though, was added because the subject was plural. And finally, they have left, all females. Elles sont parties. Still pronounced partie, but an E was added because of the feminine, and an S was added because of the plural. All four of these are pronounced partie, but in spelling, an E or an S might have to be added according to the subject. This is done whenever a form of être is the helping verb, not with avoir. So when do you use a form of avoir as a helper, and when do you use a form of être? Well, there's a mnemonic to help you remember. There are 17 verbs that require a form of être. In the whole language of French, 17 verbs require a form of être. The rest use avoir. Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp is a good mnemonic to help you remember what verbs use être as a helper. And here's the list of the 17. Devenir, revenir, mourir, rentrer, sortir, venir, aller, naître, descendre, entrer, retourner, tomber, rester, arriver, monter, partir, passe. And if you take the first letter of those, they form the phrase Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp. You can remember that little helper, a little trick to remembering the verbs. Might help you remember which ones use être. All other verbs use avoir. That's it for this video. Merci et au revoir.